This is a very, very interesting statement. We will win next week versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I think we can win. I truly believe we can win. I wouldn't guarantee a win, but I definitely think there's a possibility we can win that game. It's in Cincinnati, right? So that's going to be a plus. Obviously, next time we play them is week 18, and that's going to be probably by how they're playing right now. They'll probably have the division locked up, so that we'll probably play their backups, and we'll probably win that game as well. But this game, that's a very strong statement to say he guarantees we're going to win it. Again, I'm not disagreeing. I think we will win it. But I just don't know if I'd say I guarantee it right away. Especially not coming from a player. We will win next week. Believe that. Work to win. Blood work to win. Yeah. I mean, listen, again, like I said, I think we can win this game. I'm not going to disagree with that. But Steelers are a really good team. They really are. And at the end of the day, it's going to be one of those situations where if we beat this team, right? And again, I know playoffs are kind of off the table right now at this moment in time. But you beat the Steelers, and then you're starting to talk, okay? You're starting to kind of think and go through the motions. Right now, you sit at a roughly around 13% chance to make the playoffs. You beat the Steelers, you go all the way up to a 20% chance to make the playoffs. Oh, Lordy. Even if we win out, right, we win out every game, we have a 93% chance to make the playoffs. If we win out every single game, guys, that's a 10-7 record, and it means absolutely nothing if the Broncos and the Colts and the Chargers have a good rest of the season. That's the issue we're in, okay? I know, listen, last year, if you watched the channel, I was the guy who I thought 100%, we would make the playoffs, and even with all the stuff we went through, we were still a playoff team. It's just this year feels a little bit different on that defense. That defense feels so much worse than last year, which is weird because I thought it was going to be so much better, right? I think a lot of people did. But here's some things that could help us out. The Lions play the Colts next week, okay? Oh, sorry, this week. This week. The Raiders play the Broncos. Those two wins with a win out gets up to 97% chance to make the playoffs. The Ravens play the Chargers. The Ravens can beat the Chargers. That would help us. We need the Browns to win tonight. Again, I know this is such a far stretch, but we have to, I guess, keep the idea alive here. Packers beat the Dolphins next week. Jaguars beat the Texans. Patriots beat the Colts. And that's still 99%. And then the Jets beat the Dolphins, and that's 100%. I mean, again, we need a lot of things to happen. But next week is where you start. Next week is where you start this. And it's one of those situations where if you just get into the big game, you never know what could happen, right? You never know what could happen if you get in there. Again, I'm not getting behind the idea that not only I don't think we're going to get there, I don't know how far we would go, in all honesty. But you do play for the playoffs. You don't play for the future. You play for the right now. And, as players, that's why, again, I've said many times, players and coaches do not tank. People say all the time, oh, this team's tanking, this team's tanking. Ownership tanks. Not GM. So ownership is usually what tanks. Because ownership's going to be there no matter what. Mike Brown's going to be a Bengals owner no matter what. If we tank and we do awful, Zach Taylor could get fired. Duke Tobin could get fired. Dan Pitcher, Lou Anarumo, all fired. But Mike Brown's not going anywhere. Ownership will tank. But players and coaches, they will not, because they will get fired. And it's a bad mark on their resume. So, It is what it is. Tell me down below your thoughts, opinions. See you guys next one.